Good morning, YouTube. A few nights ago, I was laying in bed, not quite able to sleep. Sure, we've all been there. And I was watching a recent video from one of my favorite YouTubers, Iowa Retro Gamer Dad, and he was detailing his journey as a YouTuber. And he said some things, as he often does, that really resonate with me. I feel like he and I, if we knew each other in real life, we'd probably be pretty good friends because we seem to have a pretty similar outlook on life and the internet, social media, and whatnot. But he was talking about how when he initially began his run, he was trying to basically create this persona for himself. And that wasn't necessarily true to who he was. And he was, trying to get YouTube famous. And I think anybody that hops on YouTube, myself included, if they said that they wouldn't like for that to be the outcome, I know I would love to be able to do YouTube for a living and not have to go into my day job. But the reality is that's not going to be the outcome for most of us. I think the vast majority of people on YouTube, have few to no followers. And the ones that really explode and are able to get the sponsorships and the free merchandise and all that, they are a minority of a minority of a minority. For every Metal Jesus Rocks, there's probably like 5 million of me. And it's cool. But he was talking about also the just kind of the burnout that happens with it after a while, where, you're putting in all this time and this effort and you're not really making much ground, you're just kind of spinning your wheels. And that can be frustrating. Now, for me, yeah, it would be nice, but more than anything, I just enjoy doing YouTube. I enjoy editing videos, and I'll admit that I'm still not great at that. I'm learning a little bit more every day. I've been thinking recently about getting into, I forget what Adobe's video editor is called. You'll have to forgive me on that, but it's like $50 a month, and another YouTuber I watch uses it, and it seems to work really well from him. And I've been looking into it. But I'm going to table that for right now because, frankly, bills are enough as it is right now. So I'm just going to stick with the basic editing apps like CapCut on Android and everything, which is a great app. It's pretty robust for a mobile platform. But he was talking about, the big YouTubers you'll notice, like almost to one, the Metal Jesus Rocks, the Angry Video Game Nerds. I don't know, I'm not going to say that they're necessarily fake personas, but I feel like they're very exaggerated versions of who these people really are. And I'm not knocking those guys. I'm sure they are great people in real life, but I promise you, you meet them in real life, they're not going to be all over the place like they are in their videos, So, but Iowa Retro Gamer Dad, he decided after a time to take a different tack, which was just to be himself. And as cliche as that sounds, man, I feel like being real with the people that watch you and just with people in general in your everyday life, it's going to get you way farther than trying to be somebody that you're not. And that's certainly the case with me. Is like, I'm not quite as funny as a lot of these guys, and I don't have the money to go traveling and to hit up all these video game shows and shops and do all these. Man, I don't have the means to do that, so I make the most of what I do, have at my disposal. Which is why one thing I can guarantee: anytime you're watching these videos of mine, for the three of you that do that, you're getting who I am. This is me. I'm pretty opinionated. I'm not always great at articulating those. I can tell you I'm far better at communicating my thought via writing than through speaking. But I digress. I think being legitimate and down to earth, I think that's the way to go. I mean, obviously the exaggerated personas work great for some, but I tell you, I didn't discover Iowa Dad, and I'm just going to call him that because I'm too lazy to use all those syllables every time I reference him. But I didn't even discover his channel until after he had made the switch where he started talking about real shit, started talking about the downside to retro collecting, the downside to the industry, all the pressure that a lot of YouTubers put on themselves with the proverbial keeping up with the Joneses, even So in this case, the Joneses don't even live next door half the time. They don't even live on the same continent. But his videos, that's what I love most about the guy. He tells you, okay, look, this is where I've messed up. Here's where I was mentally at that time. And not only are his videos entertaining, they're really informative. And I feel like I respect him a lot for that. You know, nobody likes to talk about the dark side of the things they enjoy. Yeah, so I mean, I'm a member of several photo editing groups on YouTube, and if you ask any of my real life friends, they'll tell you I've been editing photos for probably over 15 years now. Initially, because I'm a bit of a prick sometimes, I self-taught myself Photoshop. Self-taught, with the aid of YouTube videos, but over time, I got pretty competent at it. And initially, I only learned how to do it so that I could take pictures of my friends and just put them in all sorts of horrible positions and in awful situations, and then just kind of text that around to our group of friends just for chuckles. But over time, I just got to enjoying doing the legitimate stuff too. So I joined several photo editing groups. There's probably like 10 or more that I'm a member of. And one thing I like to do on my downtime is I'm scrolling. If I don't have any other life obligations, I'll see people, oh, can you make this picture look better? Can you put a different background? And that's the thing. So many people, the internet culture, I'm not going to say that people weren't trying to front and be somebody that they're not before that they weren't doing that before the internet, but the internet has made it so exaggerated. And I think some of the requests I see the most are, oh, could you make my arm thinner? Could you get rid of my double chin? Could you get rid of this person that was in the photo? Can you change the background and make it look like I was on a beach or I was in New York? And that's like, these folks, they don't want their pictures edited so much as they want help creating works of fiction. And I'm just like, who are you trying to impress? I know I love seeing my friends' pictures on social media, when they went skiing or they went camping, they went to the mountains, they got to see this cool thing. And I'm happy for them, dude. I'm glad that they're able to enjoy their lives. And I love it when their pictures are real. It's like, if I see a picture of you having a good time, I don't care that your hair was a mess. I don't care that you had a double chin. I don't dude, if I know you in real life, I know you got a double chin. So do I. Honestly, at the right angle, so does pretty much every human being alive. And I just like, what are we doing to ourselves as a culture? First of all, when you see these pictures, it's nice to see, but 5 seconds later, you're not even thinking about it. I promise. I was like, man, is that? And the thing that not just Iowa Dad, not just him, but almost all of my very favorite YouTubers, almost to a one, the common thread, their personalities are different and their presentation is different, but the one common thread is that they're always themselves. And there's some of them that I know in real life and I've met in real life and I can validate that's who they are. And it's cool and it's great. And I love that. And I just wish more people would do that. I wish more people would just not be afraid to be who they are. Every one of us is special in our own way. Not to sound like Mr. Rogers, but we all have our own quirks and our own idiosyncrasies. We have our own bodies, our own looks, our own perceived flaws. And who cares? Life's a short ride, man. Just be who you are. Don't worry about the opinions of others. Because, I always live my life. Well, not always. It's been the last 20 years, 15 to 20 years that I really just started living by the philosophy of if they're not feeding you, sleeping with you, or financing you, then their opinions don't matter. And that's true. And I wish more YouTubers and just more people in general would adopt that philosophy. I know I'd love to see some of the bigger YouTubers just start dipping their toes more into the waters and just showing us who they are. Anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble. Oh, cool thing. I think I'm one person away from my goal of 50 subscribers. So if you would love to be that 50th subscriber and help a brother, please do it. Just click. Worst case scenario, my ugly mug pops up on your YouTube feed. Scroll right on past it. But for those of you who have, well, everybody that's subbed so far, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. You know, especially considering I'm not giving you any off the wall, you know, crazy entertaining videos. I'm just giving you a peek into my world and rambling. And if you listen to it, God bless you. Anyway, I've got to get ready to go to work. I have to close tonight, which is the only upside to closing is that I get to sleep in, and I did that. I slept until like 8 o'clock this morning, and that's how you know I'm old, when I consider 8 o'clock sleeping in. But that's the life I live. That's the life of a middle-aged dad. Anyway, take it easy, folks, and have a good one.